Hey VC. It's been a while, and who better to draw me out of this long hiatus of video content creation but one of my closest friends, Alex over at Beer and Vinyl. Alex has just surpassed 500 subs, and I'm sure he's going to just continue to grow. Great channel. Obviously, it'll be linked below in the comments here. His contest to get to 500, he's surpassed that now. Alex is asking people to show 5 albums or 5 artists, 5 something that reminds you of someone you care about or love. So pretty simple contest, but a beautiful one. Beautiful contest, Alex. So this was actually pretty easy to figure out. I knew exactly what I wanted to show right out of the gate. That being said, it was hard to kind of narrow it down to simply 5. You could just, you could have an album for almost every important person in your life. But we'll just go with the first ones that came to mind here. And the first person that came to mind, I'm not even sure if he watches these videos. Uncle Mike, if you're watching. My Uncle Mike. I only came into music pretty late in life, but when I started to show interest in music, he was right there, and he knew how to kind of guide me in a good direction. I thought I did, the mixtape that he made me initially was, and I am a big fan of the blues. If you watch my stuff, you know that, and I credit it all to him. He made me a mixtape, and he put all these old Robert Johnson songs on it, and for every corresponding Robert Johnson song, he had the Eric Clapton version that went with it. It was pretty awesome. And I could tell that what he did was he had a record, and he put the record on, and he recorded it in front of the speaker because it was very lo-fi but super cool. I do, however, have 2 subsequent tapes that he made for me. One of them was Dylan's 1965 Bringing It All Back Home, like just handmade mixtape from Uncle Mike. And then another one, Charlie Musselwhite's Southside Band, 1967. Just incredible stuff. And as I got older and talked more about music, I looked forward to talking to him more and more because his wealth of knowledge was just unbelievable. He grew up at the right time for the right acts, in my opinion. And I always think of him when I'm diving deep into music. So thanks, Uncle Mike, for being pretty much a driving force and inspiration into the direction that I had chose to go. So, Uncle Mike, number 1. Number 2, one of my closest friends I've ever had in my life, and I miss him dearly, and he lives 6,000 kilometers that way. That's Danny. Hey Danny, how you doing? I don't know if you watch these either, but hey Danny. And one of the first things, Danny got me into my number 1 favorite band, which is Pearl Jam. Danny also got me into my number 2 favorite band at the time, although I haven't listened to them much lately, but definitely a important part of my musical journey, and that is Dave Matthews Band. And this album in particular, which I think his little brother owned on CD, and we listened to that so bloody often. Eventually I got the CD. I still have it. It's upstairs, and it's the jewel case is beat to shit. It's been well loved. This came out on vinyl a few years back, or was repressed a couple years ago, and I couldn't wait to snag it. So I finally have the Dave and Tim Live at Luther College album. Phenomenal stuff. Just 2 guitarists and a vocal, like Dave obviously being the vocalist and being backed by guitarist Tim Reynolds, who is now pretty much part of the Dave Matthews Band and has toured with them for a long time. So Dave Matthews Band was a huge thing that Danny introduced me to. But like I said, he was also a driving force in my love and appreciation for Pearl Jam. In fact, it was his girlfriend at the time lent him a Pearl Jam mixtape that I pretty much took from Danny and never really wanted to give back. I'm pretty sure I eventually did. I still remember what the mixtape looked like, the colors on it and everything else. Danny also went so far as to make me mixtapes of like some bootleg live shows that I still have to this day. But again, another driving force in how I started listening to music. So Dave Matthews, Pearl Jam, thanks Danny, you're the best. I miss you a lot and I love you. Okay, this is probably the most shown record on the VC. Doesn't matter. Actually, I think Alex, I think it's one of the prizes that you're potentially giving away for the contest. I don't need it because I got it right here, and that's the 45 RPM pressing by Kevin Gray, and that is everyone's favorite Rumors. So, Jennifer, my sister, she is a massive Stevie Nicks fan. So when I listen to anything Fleetwood Mac with Stevie Nicks, I will think of Jennifer. I'm not sure what she's doing right now. She's probably going to watch this video, and I would say in about 3, 2, 1, she'll start crying right now because I'm mentioning her in the video. Anyway, brings a lot of joy to my life, and I'm assuming Fleetwood Mac brings a lot of joy to hers. So I love you, and yeah. my sister. Okay, let's stick with the immediate family here. Dad, who I don't know if they watch these or not. Can you guys even figure out how to get onto the YouTube? So I had two options here for Dad. My first concert I ever went to was actually like a revival concert, Clearwater Revisited. I'm not even sure how many of the original members of the band were actually part of that group that toured, but in any event, CCR is one of Dad's favorite bands, and I chose this album because it's got the song Susie Q on it. And when I think of CCR, there's a couple songs I think of. Any family that's watching, clearly one comes to mind. But Susie Q was something Dad would often, really enjoy listening to and start doing, a typical dad dance for. Anyway, so CCR I equate with Dad. We didn't have any CCR records growing up, but we had like their Chronicles Best of CD, which is all you really need. Well, not all you need, but it's a great place to start. And so that CD got a lot of airplay. The other thing for Dad, and I'll throw Uncle Poe in the mix here too, is the Animals, and particularly House of the Rising Sun. So, Best of the Animals has that on it. Incidentally, growing up, I should have pulled the record. There's this old kind of K-Tel record that I have, and it had House of the Rising Sun on it. And when I used to sit in front of my parents' record player, I would just keep dropping the needle on that one track. It's beat the crap because I didn't know anything about how to treat a stylus or a record player. Just probably slid the whole freaking thing right over the whole record to find the right track. But incidentally, for the longest time, that particular track was all I knew, and it was a radio edit, so I didn't even hear a whole verse of the song. But anyway, long story short, House of the Rising Sun, my father and my uncle would belt that out every summer when they got together, and that will forever be probably a top 5 favorite song for me because of that, because of Dad and Uncle Poe singing that song. So it was a must-have to grab any album with House of the Rising Sun on it. So that's Dad. Let's go to Mom. Mom had tapes in her car, because that's what you had in the 80s. Tapes in the car, and she only had so many, and so it was always the same bloody songs on the way to and from school. And I still have those tapes today. I have 2 of the tapes today. There was a bunch of them, but the big ones that I wanted to think about were Leonard Cohen. So those are the 2. I'm not sure if that's going to zoom in or not. So it's the Leonard Cohen, the Best Of, and Leonard Cohen Songs of Love and Hate. I knew when I was going to start collecting vinyl that I had to find, and I found a couple copies of this. So I know every song on this. I know every lyric on this. It's just ingrained in my brain, and my sister, she's still watching. She knows all about this stuff. The other tape that was in the car, and I don't have the tape, but the other tape, and I was keen to find this on vinyl, and it was quite easy to find. I have a couple copies of it, and that's Patsy Cline's Greatest Hits. So, Walking After Midnight, Sweet Dreams, Crazy, She's Got You. There's so many great songs on that, and I just like the Leonard Cohen, I know every friggin' lyric there is on that album, because that's all we listened to on the car ride to school, was one of those 3 tapes, or a Connie Francis tape, and I think I have a Connie Francis album somewhere too. Yeah, so I don't know who's that. So we got Mom, we got Dad, my sister, my uncle, and one of my closest friends ever. That's 5, Alex. This was a great idea for a video. It could have went on for like an hour. I could have hit every friend in my life that has introduced me to something, or I listen to something religiously because of them. There's a lot of could be a lot of honorable mentions out there. For instance, Cam, if you're watching, that's obviously something for you. This holds a super special place as well. Pink Floyd, The Wall. But anyway, we'll stop there. But Alex, all the best, man. Your content is amazing. Your knowledge is like something I can't even relate to. Next level stuff. If you don't know Alex at Beer and Vinyl, please go over to his channel. Sweetest guy ever. Sub him up. Thanks for this, Alex. I'm going to go spin these often and spin these loud. All right? See ya.